So how did you make that transition from being a rapper to being a motivational speaker? Like how did that transition go?
So I'm not gonna lie, at first, pandemic 2020, COVID really had everybody in the house, right? So I feel like because I had everybody in the house, it's like, dang, I'm standing still, like, what do I do? So I just really got more spiritual and more intentional about, okay, what is it that, God is trying to show me? What is it that I got to do next? So July 5th, 2020, I decided to step out and do motivational videos. Like, I recorded myself on IG, and then I was just having a conversation with one of my homies. And all of a sudden, it was just like people was tapped into it. I didn't even really pay attention. I'm just sitting there talking to my homie, and they're like, man, you know what? People was really liking what we were saying. And then the next day, I just decided to hop out there, and I just kept on doing videos. And then that's what really sparked Grind Hard, Dream Big. I wrote that in my notebook in 2014, but I kept writing it over and over in my old notebooks. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna call it Grind Hard, Dream Big. And the harder you grind, the bigger you dream is a slogan for me. Like I wrote in 2014, and November 6th, 2020, I ain't looked back. I decided to start a podcast, and it's been amazing.
Okay. So, do you still do music at all, or did you kind of just, was that just the end of it
well, it's nothing to really hop back in the studio and do something, but I just feel like now the purpose is higher. Like, this is my assignment now. This is my purpose. This is what I feel like I was called to do. I feel like I was called to, speak to people, motivate people, and create, something not only for myself, but for other people, so they could be inspired and feel that impact and that positivity in the world.
For sure, man. So with Grind Hard, Dream Big, like with the podcast, you said you started that in November of 2020?
Yeah, November 2020.
Okay. So with that, you're just explain that podcast. Is it just you? Do you have a co-host?
So it's really myself. So it's really myself, and what I've done is found guests, and majority of the guests I've actually known throughout my life, and they're there to speak about either their business, what they got going on, the ins and outs, just everything that goes on. Whether you have a 9-to-5, whether you're an entrepreneur, you do philanthropy, whatever type of work you do, I definitely want to highlight it in a positive mindset, and definitely being who I needed when I was younger. Because I feel like that creative space, or just space, needed to be created, and if not me, then who?
For sure. Yeah, because do you feel like there's not enough positive podcasts? 'Cause I know the typical podcasts we see go viral, they're about a lot of topics that sometimes they're positive, but it's a lot of junk sometimes.
Right.
It's a lot of conversations that they may not always be necessary, but there isn't a lot of maybe positivity when you go on your Instagram or your Twitter feed. Do you feel like that space in podcasting was a lane that needed to be filled?
Oh yeah, definitely, for sure. I mean, I know that for myself, just watching content, I know we have the Breakfast Club. I mean, I know a lot of people watch like $1 Million Worth of Game and things of that nature, and shout outs to everybody that does in the content creating space. But I just felt like for myself, like, okay, what can we really tackle some conversations that really matter? Like, what about mental health? What about financial literacy? What about just the everyday person? Because I feel like we were being misrepresented, and I feel like that's the biggest thing. I wanted to fill a void and be the hope, and be the reason why somebody could do something dope.
And in what ways do you feel like we're misrepresented? And when you say we, are you talking about Black people as a whole? When you say we're being misrepresented?
I think just people in general. I think it's just it's people in general. I wouldn't say it's one particular race. Only reason being is because we all go through these emotions, regardless of whether it be male, female, African American, Asian, Caucasian, whatever your race is. I feel like we all have a story, and we just haven't seen it from the everyday person. So I just think that being able to connect it to an everyday person, for it to relate and be transparent, is definitely important and key.
Okay. So are you into any community activism at all?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Shout outs to Dare to Be Different CEO Kim. She was the first person to really come across. I came across IG, once again, follow her, she followed me, and we've been locked in. We were able to collab on homeless events as far as Feed the Homeless, backpack drives as well for the community. She's a big reason why I do what I do. She definitely believed in me when I didn't believe in myself. She definitely poured into me as well, and she constantly stays on top of me and holds me accountable. In addition to my mother, my father, stepfather, my whole entire family, in doing the work that I do. And shout outs to Braxton Legacy Foundation as well, because we were able to partner on some things as well as far as the back to school drive, Feed the Homeless, and definitely impacting communities not only in DC but Prince George's County as well.
Okay. So what are some other projects you've worked on besides that? Are there any other ones that you've worked on, like any other?
Right now, currently, as far as the grind hard, dream big. Like I said, it's more than media and a podcast. It's more so community outreach as well, and being who I needed when I was younger. So from feeding the homeless to the backpack drives, and of course like the motivational speaking space. That's what I'm able to do. Shout outs to Justin Drummond as well with cybersecurity, cyberspirit. Definitely trying to provide opportunities to youth and expose them to different things. Cybersecurity is a big field right now, of course, what's going on at IT and coding. So that's another venture as well. And the best is yet to come. Through the grace of God, the best is yet to come. And we're just going to continue to be active and continue to advocate for that unity in the community.
Sure, for sure. And I was watching you on another podcast. You said that you don't really consider yourself an activist. You're more so a motivational speaker. Like, can you speak to that a little bit?
Yeah. So being a motivational speaker, I just feel like it's very, very challenging at times.
Yeah.
Reason being is because if you're not motivated, then how somebody else could be motivated, right? I think that for me, I just say what I feel is essential, right? And having a voice for the voiceless.
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest thing, because there's a lot of things that people probably want to say, but they probably just don't know how to say it, right?
Yeah.
And that's where Grind Hard Dream Big comes in, because it's a place where you can feel safe, you can express yourself, and be yourself, and take pride in the work that you do, through the ins and outs.
All right. And so if you what would you say to a young person who kind of feels voiceless right now, who kind of feels like they don't have a voice, and they want to express themselves, but they feel like they can't do it, they don't have the right avenues to do it? How, what would you say to that person?
I mean, I would say one, just start journaling. I feel like you gotta pray, first of all, before anything. Pray on whatever it is, whoever you believe in. Pray to that person, and really just find, even if you have to sit yourself down, pray on it, journal, really just write it out, think it out, and then really just get into the execution part. And the execution part is more so doing what you said you was going to do, holding yourself accountable and taking those steps. For me, like I said, building the confidence, I had to go to IG first and build that confidence. I was able to build confidence throughout the motivational videos, and then people were making suggestions like, yo, I think you should have a podcast, I think you should do this. I just really felt like everything took time, and trusting the process and not really rushing yourself, because you could look at social media, and I've looked at social media plenty of times and been derailed by it, by the number of followers, likes, views, comments, and things of that nature. But somebody's watching you, so don't ever feel like somebody's not watching you.
Definitely. So I've been watching your clips ever since I started following you. I went back, try to watch as many as I could. Whenever you do those motivational clips, is it therapeutic for you whenever you do it? Or?
Yeah, it definitely is. I mean, it's really a reminder to myself. That's how I could really explain it. Sometimes you can feel like, dang, okay, this person got it all down packed, but in reality I don't, because like I said, I'm not perfect, you're not perfect, but we all worth it. We all make mistakes, so just fall in love with those mistakes. So with the videos, I think what it is more so, like I said, that self-reminder for myself. Mondays, just to make things happen. Tuesdays to remind myself of boundaries. Wednesdays, also realizing hey, you know what, your emotions may get the best of you, but don't get out your character, don't get out your zone, and get back to what it is. And then also being forgiven, and then also just pushing through and finishing the week strong. and always being grateful. But at the end of the day, you also need to rest too. So I just really predicated messages around those things, because those are the things that really are essential to me, and I feel like that could be essential to someone else as well. And just taking that as soul food and running with it.